minor characters. I mean, I'm not saying it wouldn't work. I'm just saying like they haven't done anything like that with like a major character. Like, all of a sudden these two guys are, unless they're like on the news or whatever. They're like, oh yeah, this thing happened in Sokovia, and then you see like,
Right. I think if they were going to do something like that, this would have been the best time to do it with a Loki character. Just because of what's going on and it's being shown at this moment, it would have been kind of funny.
no,
Not a must, but it would have been kind of funny.
no, yeah. I mean, I'm not saying like I'm not trying to shoot down your idea.
Shut down.
Eat
Charzar81. No.
No, blow it all up. And Black Widow is like, I guess Black Widow is not the movie to do it in. Maybe Ant-Man, something more comical, like.
Or they'll do it in the new movie the series I Am Groot. I don't know if it's gonna be a movie or a series, but that'd be a good one to do it in.
Oh my gosh!
Or a Deadpool movie. Like they could totally do whatever they want in the Deadpool movie. Random TVA comes in, or just some random such randomness. I have to. I hope so.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that. Did you get one of these?
What? What am I seeing? What am I doing?
From McDonald's.
Oh no, I have the worst characters. I have Wanda and Vision. I'm just kidding. No, I do have Wanda and Vision.
You're really testing Wasp. My. I have Wasp.
I think everyone has Wasp.
I
think I have two Wasps.
I have Winter Soldier somewhere in this house. Like, I think it's buried, like, with Astro.
It's inside the Death Star.
I thought it was. Harley Quinn's guarding the Death Star right now, along with Mega Man. But I haven't been able.
Red Mega Man.
Well, it's like one of those things where we got him, and we're like, okay, that's nice. Obviously, Cable wasn't going to play with it that long. And then, we started accumulating, and I'm like, oh man, like now where's that thing? Like we got up to 4 whole characters, right. Especially with I have Captain. I was about to say Captain Falcon again.
Falcon.
I have Falcon, and I'm like, where's Winter Soldier? Now that I actually care, I do have Groot, Baby Groot, or whatever you want to call him, like toddler Groot or teenage Groot or whatever.
Baby Groot.
Oh man. All right. It's July 13th. Get out my scripts. Man, I have been like the wifey and I have like on this show that we cannot get off right now.
Loki, yeah, good one.
That's tomorrow.
It was a good one.
It was a good one. No, obviously we hold the greatness of Breaking Bad like super high. I don't know about you. I think it's one of the best shows of all time.
Yeah, it's top 10 shows in my list.
Well, like The Ticket, they profess that's up there too. 1310, The Ticket. 96.7, 1310, The Ticket. They also hold The Wire in high regard. And
you're watching that right now, I guess?
Yeah. And it is It's very.
It's got you wired.
Pretty much. Like, oh my gosh, like they're 55-minute episodes, and we literally find ourselves midnight, 12:30 sometimes, just like, can we watch one more? Like, it's very addicting because, the way the series is put together, they leave everything at a cliffhanger, and
you think it's going all down to the wire?
Yeah, nice. And I guess it takes place in the late 90s. I'm trying to remember when it actually takes place, but they're all about beepers and pagers during this time. They're still using payphones to communicate between bosses and soldiers and stuff like that. But very little Michael B. Jordan's in it. He's Wallace, and when he first comes on the screen, you're like, where have I seen that kid before? Like, he's this little grunt, working the projects, working the towers. I'm like, oh my god, I think that's Michael B. Jordan. That's Creed.
It's Killmonger.
He doesn't. He comes a long way since that movie. He's Johnny Storm. Was his name Johnny Storm, by the way? Again, I've never seen Fantastic Four.
Yes, and do never see it. Ladies and gentlemen, do never see that movie. You'll waste your time.
Oh, it's on Disney.
And time is money. You'll waste your money.
It's on Disney Plus.
It is on Disney Plus. Who cares?
How do they... So, are he and Sue's brother and sister in that movie?
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I mean,
Totally.
Okay.
They both have the same last name.
Okay.
I think. Okay, so I think at the end of that movie, like, if they came out with another movie, that would have been their chance. But that movie did so bad, there's no way. And the director was drunk more than half the time, and they had to do reshoots a lot of the time. It was just a bad movie. There's no action. It's boring. Oh man, I've never seen so many people leave a theater. I'm like, I paid money. I'm going to go ahead and finish this, please. Thank you.
I am getting my money's worth. I do not care.
I mean, seriously, I did see a bunch of people. I was like, why are these people leaving? It's
book ended this good. Time. Is this getting good, or you're just praying it's getting good?
Yeah, please, for the love of God, cherish it.
It's like when you look at, like, a piece of stock that you own, and it's like starts off with a tremendous loss, and you're just like, just get break even. Just come on, break even for me. Just get green.
Been there.
You don't even have to be like 0.001. Just get to back to the Mendoza line. You're praying for that with the Fantastic Four.
Come on, Shiba Inu. Come on, Shiba Inu. Get back to 0.00030, please.
Oh man. Well, that's probably one movie that we're not going to be seeing here on the Movie Broview.
Unless we have a lot of people telling us to, we're not doing it.
Hey man, if that's the case, then I'll watch it. But that'll be the
end of it.
That'll be great to see, and if I have to watch it in that form or fashion,
let's just say it won't be fantastic. Okay. It won't be fantastic for the both of us.
We gotta start. We gotta start now. All right, let's begin with a much better movie than Fantastic Four. Good evening, everybody. This is the Movie Broview, episode 21. Holy moly, our our little bitty show can now legally drink. I am one of your hosts, Charlie Zarzuela. I'm not drinking tonight. My brother might be, though, and he's on the other side of me. His name is Joshua Henderson. Josh, what's up, bro?
What's up, brother man? I am just drinking 32 ounces of cold vodka. No, I'm just kidding. It's just water. It's just water.
Agua Frio. Scotch and water. Hold the scotch.
Hold the scotch on the racks. Yeah, it's good water. But we'll see what this movie's all about. Okay.
That's all you got, huh? You're just ready to jump right in. Feet first,
man, huh? I haven't talked to you about. I mean, I've talked to you. My take partly via text, but I haven't heard a word from you. So it kind of makes me either worried or glad. I don't know. We'll find out later on.
Well, this is the Movie Broview, where two brothers give their brotherly take on movies of today, yesterday, and tomorrow. We've been doing a lot of Loki recently, and it's finally good to have to sit down and have a little one-on-one discussion about a full-length movie, a full-length MCU movie that is, again, a brand new one. Again, I am Charlie. My handle's at Charzar81 at Twitch, Instagram, and Twitter. My brother Josh, he's at Joshizzle2323, which you are watching right now on YouTube. Catch him out at Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. I guess it's fixed. I'm not sure. I saw your last little post, and I was like, "Wait, is TikTok broken?" I don't know.
It got fixed the same day.
I'm like, that's an interesting TikTok. That's interesting. Like, subscribe, and follow. We appreciate all those, and also hashtag Movie Review. Hit that in your little Google search for all access to our stuff. And drop a comment in the YouTube comment section below in YouTube. Let me know. The question for tonight, do you prefer Natasha or Yelena? In all forms and aspects, which one would you prefer? I don't know.
Are you asking me now?
It's intriguing. Like, I again, and my brother prefaced the show by saying, he hasn't heard a peep from me since I told him that I was starting to watch the show. Honestly, I was just really, really tired from really, really ridiculous work week. Just needed some time to extrapolate, enjoy some heavy HBO drama episodes. But other than that, just like I just kind of like keep it on the down low because I want this discussion tonight to be completely fresh, nothing prepared. I want to throw my opinions at you. I want you to throw your opinions at me too, without idea of like, okay, how does he feel about this? Oh, he already likes it, So we both know what we're in for or whatever. So
I have no idea.
You don't have any idea. That's the great part about it.
I gave you somewhat. That's all I gave you.
Sure. And yeah, I know. I'm coming in this with a complete poker face.
Is it okay to ask you how many times you watched it?
I've only watched it once.
Okay.
I've only watched
how many
it once.
times I did. So.
I've watched several shows on their reactions to it. I've done a little research on the show, but actually watching it from stem to stern was once. How did you watch it? Can I ask?
Yes, I watched it. I watched it once by myself, and then I watched it with the nieces, my wife's nieces, and it was very
glad
interesting.
You said nieces after that. My wife's nieces.
Yes, or my nieces, whatever. How does that work? I don't know. You've been married longer than I have. I guess you can just call them nieces.
Yeah,
right?
your nieces. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let's moving along. Yeah. So I watched it with my nieces, and with wifey was in and out just because of our son, and then it's interesting watching it the second time with people that actually enjoyed it, and we'll go into that once we actually talk about it. So
okay. I too watched it with my nieces. I don't mean to brag on the setup of how we watched it, but good old father-in-law, put a lot of his money into his game room, making it more of a movie room now. And I urge people, who are listening to this or watching this, if you haven't seen the movie yet, definitely put yourself in a setting that is very much akin to something like the big full-size theater. Or if you can't do that, or if you choose not to do that, crank up the stereo or the sound as loud as you possibly can, because oh my God, this movie throws a lot at you all at once, and you just want to be enraptured by, something that we've been missing out for like 2 years now. Gosh, the last thing we had was Far From Home? Was it?
Yeah.
Yep, that's the last bit of a
Last movie, yes.
movie that we've had to be able to watch on the big screen, MCU wise. Yeah, again, this was supposed to come out last year. Obviously, it didn't for reasons we all know. But it's finally here. Good Lord, it took a year, but it's finally here, and we're here to discuss with you Black Widow. Oh, so usually we go through this, with our movie reviews. We like to sometimes we go from stem to stern. We go all over the joint like we did with Tenet. We've done just kind of bullet points of special highlights for certain movies. How do you want to approach this, bro? Like, I put a couple of notes down. I didn't know if you wanted to go immediately into the initial impressions yet.
Well, let's do this. Let's go about characters. Okay? We're gonna start with the Stranger Things star David Harbour, now known as Crimson Dynamo. Just kidding. That is the Russian Iron Man. As Red Guardian. He was given a script and he did as much as he could with it. I was very displeased with how much fighting there was with him. Like, there wasn't hardly any. Like, he flipped the thing at the beginning back in 1995 in Ohio when they're trying to escape from S.H.I.E.L.D. He was arm wrestling here and there, and then it was cutting out in and out of the fight with Taskmaster. I was just like, what the heck, man? I want to see some fighting. Like, I expect at least remember in the Civil War where you have Iron Man versus the two guys, Winter Soldier and Captain America? Like, maybe a fourth of that. Just give me that. You know what I mean? But I'm going to do the Black Panther claw thing, which is pretty cool because, like, that's the job of Taskmaster. He memorizes and understands everyone's moves and has the moves and understands and uses them. And just a quick hit, I mean, there wasn't enough fighting with them too, I think. That's just my opinion on that. But as a character, hilarious, pulls on the Russian accent pretty well, in my opinion. He's just like a funny, failing, try to be father figure type of thing. Like, I really hope I see him again in the future in MCU. He's, spoiler alert, he's still alive, so I really want to see him again in some form of fashion. I thought it was hilarious why he was talking about stories of fighting Captain America when it never happened in this universe. And Ursa was all the big giant, which by the way, I thought he was going to be the bear, the mutant Ursa Major. Apparently not. Ursa's just a Russian name, I guess. And but yeah, it was funny, the back and forth. And yeah, Captain America was still frozen. What are you talking about? He puts him in his place. I love that. But overall, as a character, fantastic. What did you think of Red Guardian, excuse me.
I thought, again, for everyone out there, we're about to just completely spoil the bejesus out of what we can with this movie. Again, we don't go into this like other shows do. We just go in it organically, and As my brother stated, we're going to start with the characters. Red Guardian, I liked him. David Harbour, again, from Stranger Things. I loved him from that show. I continue to love him. It's funny how that show kind of ended at season 3 with him maybe being a Russian, and then he ends up being a Russian hero in this show. Like,
Russian prison
like
too.
How, coincidental that is, that happens. But he plays that old-aged hero that's kind of found his way to the bench and wants to get back into things. He reminded me He reminded me a little bit of Mr. Incredible, where he kind of hanged it up on, involuntarily because, he was put in jail. And now that he's back, he's trying to squeeze into his skivvies again, trying to fit into his like the helmet and everything like that. I was kind of hoping. I mean, obviously, this is a Black Widow movie. Let's state that first and foremost. Like, yes, this movie is more than just about her. It's about family. It's about redemption. It's about returning to your roots when the family that you've kind of gravitated to, the Avengers, are kind of like in. There's a lot of infighting there. Let's just say a lot of her family's in jail right now, so she's trying to find her way, and amidst doing so, she's caught back in this web per se of espionage and of spies. Like, remember, like, Black Widow is a spy, like, first and foremost. Like, I know she kind of takes a back seat to all her like big stud superheroes who have either all the technology or all the power or all the rage
or all the money.
Yeah, exactly. And like, in the end, honestly, like, it's funny enough, when you watch a lot of those Avengers movies, it's her that comes through in the clutch to be the to make the decisive move, the move that others aren't making or aren't willing to make. And when it comes to this movie, she's found her way back there. So I just wanted to preface that by saying that about this movie. I would love to have seen more of the origin story. We did see the very, very beginning, which was very much like the FX show The Americans, a Russian seeker cell family here to steal secrets from, the American government or whatever for Russian government reasons, etc. And took place in the mid-90s. And obviously when their plot was discovered and they were basically forced by their government to say, hey, like, that's it, we're calling it, it's time to come back home. It seems like the entire family knew that it was coming, like, and it was ready. But other than that, like, that was pretty much the only origin story we got of Red Guardian and of Melina. She was the quote-unquote wife, the mom of Yelena and Natasha. And, initially, again, you thought she's dead or whatever, and she kind of goes by the wayside. She's more of the tinkerer. She's the smart one. Like, I can see Red Guardian being the brawn of the group, obviously. Like, he's flipping over dump trucks while they're trying to escape in that private plane. And, when they come back together, you see that she's kind of devised this little lab on this farm. And she's kind of the one who kind of turned the protocols of the Red Room from more of a psychological standpoint to a more of a chemical, forceful way to integrate the Black Widow program. I wish there was more. Again, with a lot of these movies, and being a former comic book junkie, obviously, I do wish there was more from, the supporting cast. With Melina, them being the mom and dad, they're the ones who raised the little girls.
With Melina, I was fine. I was fine with how much camera time she got, her dialogue. I understood what her character was supposed to be. It was fine. It was fine. She's, like you said, she's a tinkerer, techie, very knowledgeable what's going on. Great character. That was one of the characters done perfectly. Besides Yelena, which we'll go in just a second. Go ahead with your thoughts. Sorry.
No. I mean, you closed it off perfectly. I'm glad. I mean, again, I don't think. When it came to the family, there was not one thing I didn't like. The one thing I did not like was that there wasn't more of it. You know what I mean? What was there, I enjoyed. Like you said, they had this humor about them. They were playing this blue collar kind of, nuclear family in Ohio in the mid '90s. And they recall to that several times, even Red Guardian recalls to that, saying yeah, that was even the most boringest time in his life, kind of making Yelena mad about it. But there were a lot of moments like that. He's I don't want to say he's Homer Simpson, but he's kind of just when he's not in fight mode, he is kind of this bumbling, chuckling, I don't want to say idiot, but he definitely is. Again, he is the muscle, she is the brain. So
for sure.
But I do unless you got more to say about the family, I want to go right to Yelena. By the way,
like I said, Melina, I understood her character, enough dialogue, enough camera time. I understood. Red Guardian, this is a different type of character. I need more. He was chosen for a reason. I needed to see why in his fighting. You know what I mean? And then Black Widow, of course. This is her movie, and then we're gonna jump into Yelena. Go ahead with Yelena. Florence Pugh. She is the movie. She did so well. The torch was definitely passed to her. I cannot wait to see her in a Thunderbolts movie, in Hawkeye, or whatever that's gonna happen. I cannot wait.
Yeah, no, she definitely. Boy, at the risk again. You know me, from several recordings ago, I was well, Amanda Heard is now King of the Mountain. Yelena, Florence Pugh might be. Immediately usurping Amanda Heard there because, she's gorgeous, but at the same time, she can kick some butt. And also, her quips and her kind of just, dry humor.
Her delivery was perfect.
Are just spot on. Exactly. No, they were all, everything was all good.
She said little things like, that's bullshit. Like that, and then the calling... Black Widow, or I'm sorry, not Black Widow. Natasha Romanoff calling her a poser, that's just the delivery was perfect.
How they trolled, but wait, before you go on, how they trolled Black Widow with all the other movies of being the poser, and I love that shot where they're at the convenience store, and you can tell I don't know if she's putting on a show, but she's you have to do this, and she kind of bends down and makes it look really awkward and painful. But it's funny enough, later on, she does that same pose, and
then she calls
in the Red Room.
Yeah. Calls her a poser, yeah.
That's so good.
Oh, she did the same move.
She did the same thing, yeah.
The same move, yeah.
She's I don't forget if she's it's so awkward or ugh, I can't believe I did that or something like that.
No. She's disgusted. She's just, ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh, Yeah.
It's so good. Like, she's definitely like, she is what Black Widow was prior. Like, you know, obviously, yeah, I mean, it's true. Like, we saw her trying to chase down that antidote, and when the antidote hit her in the face earlier in the movie, you know, she had changed over, but she's just recently, you know, she's not that far removed from being part of that Black Widow program that, you know, it's very, the storyline I really thought was interesting. It's very sinister when you come to think about it. You know, Dreykov controlling these girls and basically stealing them, and you know, it's all about you know, kidnapping and just using these girls as like weaponry, and just like, you know, they're assets. They're not real people anymore, you know. And now that again, Melina worked in the program, and instead of approaching it from a very psychological standpoint, like what Natasha went through, you know, we saw scenes of that in Age of Ultron. You know, she's doing the ballerina thing, and you know, she's kind of being forced to murder people. You know, Florence Pugh kind of went through a different thing, and like she was kind of it was kind of eerie because Melina was just kind of explaining that at the dinner table, like it was just like, oh, this is what I did at work today, yada yada yada, and you know, Yelena's having to hear all this, and I guess Melina's not even realizing that she had become part of that machine, you know. But no, that plan, I mean, by Dreykov was, you know, it's pretty dark when it goes into thinking about the functionality and the processes that it takes to get all these little girls and grow them up and, you know, brainwash them and, you know, force them to become assassins and killers and such. But going back to Yelena, like, yes, like she, like you said, the torch was, I think, has been perfectly passed. And, you know, I think that she can definitely add some to that particular skill set. You know, again, like, you know, like Natasha, Yelena is not, you know, super strong. She is a spy. She is an assassin. You know, she definitely knows her way to, like, into infiltrating, you know, very locked down areas and buildings to get what she wants. She knows how to work a big gun. Oh my gosh, that entire like section when they were extracting Alexei or Red Guardian from hell. That was, I mean, she's flying this helicopter, and you know, there's all these, you know, intricacies of like these scaffoldings just all around her or whatever, and she's getting shot at. And she's like, screw this. And she just grabs that RPG and blows up a whole tower. Genius.
Until the avalanche happened.
Well, you know,
and then
you're not thinking about that.
This is a good way to die.
Yeah, those quips. It was just the crazy little quips. Like, and she even calls back to it when she's on that surgery table. I don't know what they were gonna do. Like, they were going to peel her face off or something like that. But she even mentions, like, this is not a good way to die.
It turned out that wasn't... They added that, like, that was actually supposed to be like a knife, but instead it had needles. Like, there's something edited there, I heard.
Sure.
For the movie. They had edited that one scene before they released it for this date for this year. Otherwise, it would have been something else way back when it was originally supposed to be released last year. Before pandemic time, but I don't know what was supposed to happen, but I kind of understood what was going on. They're just gonna mess her up.
Oh, so. I mean, yeah, I mean, she had broken away from the Black Widow program. Heck, even in Budapest, is it Budapest or Budapest? I don't know. Like,
Budapest.
I thought that like little lisp was like, that's an interesting way to add to it, but you know.
You and I remember Budapest very differently.
How did you feel like they told that?
I think it was fine. It would have been, obviously it's easier if you had a 6-episode series on Disney Plus. You'd be able to go into that a little bit more in deep. But all they did was basically show where they hid in that train station, where they hid in that apartment condo place. You saw arrow. What kind of gun does that to a wall? Well, actually, those are arrows. So you know they had a fight in that particular area with some goons or whatever the case may be. And they had to hide in that train station for some weird reason. And then they're in contact with each other. Barton's like, "Are you ready? Are you ready?" Sets off the bomb and almost tries to kill Dracoff and accidentally tries to kill Dracov's daughter too, but not accidentally, but purposely to get Dracoff. But there's some they just didn't show it. You have to use your imagination of what probably took place. So.
Oh well, sure. Like, you know, it comes off to me as like, I don't know. Like, again, they still have room to roam because Hawkeye is still out there. They've been dropping those moments or that time in their lives several times throughout the course of the MCU's history. Yeah. And so, honestly, I would have liked to have seen more from it. Like, it didn't affect me either way on, like, how I felt about this movie. I would have loved to have seen it. Again, like, you're talking with a moviegoer and a tremendous MCU fan who will put a short failing on a lot of these movies because there's not more of it. You know, even a 3.5 hour to almost 4 hour epic Endgame, I could have had another 30 minutes of that thing because, man, I could watch these things for like ever. Like, just give me more. Like, give me like the entire, you know, the entire thing in its entirety. Just watch it from stem to stern, like, you know. That's through my fault. It's not through the movie's fault itself. You know, you can only so much. You know, there's a lot of people who they'll look at a 2.5 hour movie and like, oh my god, this is long. And for me, I'm like, this is the norm now. Like, you know, 2.5 hour movies going about. I'm like, that's not too long for me, at least, you know, in my guesstimation. So, I do want to bring up one thing though. So we've talked Yelena. Well, before we go on that, let's talk a little bit about Natasha. So she's kind of like, you know, she's obvious on the run. So again, we're going to jump back and forth, but the movie in its entirety comes off to me as very Bourne Identity. I love stuff like this. This is like your like modern spy movie that takes place in like Eastern Europe. You see all these new towns, these new boroughs or whatever, where like you see a lot of the old city architecture, yet they're going through it with motorcycles and heavy duty artillery tanks and, you know, destroying everything, you know. But there is very, very something to, like, you know, that I love about the spy movies, the chase scenes that I've, you know, are near and dear to me. Mission Impossible, again, Bourne Identity, Bourne Supremacy, you'll have it. GoldenEye has it. That's what this movie felt like to me. And, you know, Scarlett Johansson, she was kind of like, you know, in the thick of it, you know, and it starts off, again, very James Bond / Ethan Hunt-esque, where Ross is like, you know, about to capture her because she's like stuck in this women's restroom and she's talking to him, you know, back and forth, you know, and you come to find out they bust on in and she's like halfway, you know, across the world or whatever. So I don't know, how did you like the feel of this movie?
It just felt like it's just telling a story of how she brought down the Red Room. Like, there's nothing to lose. Like in Avengers movies and even like Iron Man, Captain America, like all these other major films, even Ant-Man, like it's the end of the world if they or he or she does not fix this. This is just family, and how was the Red Room taken down? It feels like it should have been released much earlier, which I understand. They were fighting on and off trying to get this movie to come out, not just to last year, like before that. And I just felt like it's too late. I understand we've had movies that go into the past. You got your Captain Marvels, you got even your Captain America, the First Avenger. That's a little different. Those are origin films. This is not an origin film. It's an origin film / spy film / how did she fix that and then insert this timeline here. I don't know. I'm glad. What I am glad about is that Black Widow got her full story arc. You saw it all the way through. You just had that missing piece in the middle, and you put this movie right in there, that's the only part I really appreciate. So.
I don't know, that Red Room program, I think you can argue that's got some worldwide ramifications with them stealing a whole bunch of little girls all over the place and mind controlling them. Just saying. You know, it's not galactic. It's not going to blow up the world or whatever.
But you know she lives. Because you know she's going to be in the next.
Well, sure. Yeah, like
X amount of films.
There was definitely that factor in it where I was watching moments, especially during, you know, the entire destruction of the Red Room, and I'm like, oh well, she's gonna live through this. Like, so, like, I don't have. There's like no, there are no real stakes, but at the same time, I was able to suppress that a lot, like in just feeling the actual moment, like, you know, not like knowing like, oh, she's gonna live through this, I don't have to worry about it, like, let's, like, you know, skip to the next scene already, because, you know, again, a lot of that is, you know, this day and age is, you know, y'all millennials, let's get to the next thing because we already know what's gonna happen now. With this movie, hold on. With this movie, I was literally trying to, like, just let it, like, come to me, because it is, like you said, I agree with you. The stakes are not high. We already know the outcome of where Black Widow's going to end up, but it's unique in that it's very grounded, and I do appreciate and I do like that because you start to get deaf on, like, oh, it's the end of the world, they're gonna blow up the entire solar system, okay, and all of a sudden you're like, well, this is boring. Like, yes, you know, we're gonna blow up the entire galaxy again. Well, what now? You know, like, sometimes it's good to, like, you know, switch gears downward a little bit so we can get to a more like, you know, get our feet on the earth and, like, just, like, feel the ground underneath us sometimes. And, you know, a story that, you know, again, there is a beginning, there's a middle, there's an end. There is kind of like a trail off to, you know, what could be in the future, you know, but when it comes to, like, Black Widow's story, yes, I agree with you in that aspect, that, you know, it is a smaller movie. I don't think it's late. I mean, it's hard to say, though, because, you know, this movie was supposed to come out last year, so, you know, I guess it is late, but, you know, that's what I feel. What are you going to say?
So, 2 levels here. This movie would have been better and better felt if, in fact, you didn't see 3 Disney Plus series with a bunch of content. 1. 2, it would have been even better if it actually came out after Civil War. But I understand they were in the process of even making this movie, not even until maybe after Infinity War. So, I get that. You know, you don't know what you want or what you need or what you have until you realize, oh, she's actually already dead. We need to start making a movie about her to make it equal, because she is a powerful character, whether it's not actual power of money or power. She's just a great part of the team. But I did feel like the first time I watched it, because I watched it twice, I felt like I was just watching it to get to the end credit scene. That's what I felt. Not the entire time. There were some points where I was thoroughly enjoying it. The breakout of Red Guardian in jail. What else? You know, then I was waiting for the Taskmaster fight between Black Widow and the Taskmaster. That was actually really interesting. She was fucked. I mean, she was screwed. You know what I mean? And then the ending was like, where's my Red Guardian fight? I wanted to see. That's what I wanted to see. No offense to Black Widow. I know it's her movie, but this is family. I want to see your family member freaking fight, bro. But But the second time, I took it in a little differently. I watched it with a crowd. I watched it with my nieces. they are girls. They looked at it a different way. They're seeing a woman being powerful, which I respect. But it's unfortunate the delivery time of this movie was just not there. It should have been, unfortunately, the pandemic. I think it would have been different, a little bit better if it was before those 3 series that came out. Because you got a buttload of content, right? Am I wrong? No, it's true. You got freaking 10 episodes of WandaVision, which was towards the end, which we already talked about. Then you got 6 episodes of a grounded Falcon Winter Soldier who becomes Captain America. And then you have Loki, which is not done yet. You still have that in the back of your mind. What's going to happen in episode 6? Right? So, yes, I think this movie would have been better if it was last year, but it is what it is with the pandemic. God bless it. But so,
see, I agree with you. I don't hold that against the movie, though. I don't like to, put apples to oranges when it comes to this movie because it's so new. Everyone's already like, all right, where does this movie line up, in the pantheon of all the MCU movies? A lot of those movies had so much time to grow and ingrain themselves in people's brains, and kind of like what you're going into, and what I totally get is that where they are contextually in the entire timeline, that's MCU's mess up. The fact that they didn't foresee someone like Black Widow, who a lot of the audiences have been clamoring, why is she not getting her own movie? That's their fault. And I'm I am not going to go anywhere near to apologize for them, but being the cards that were dealt to us as an audience, I can't say, one or the other, oh, this could have been better if it was like this could have been better if like that. Especially again, you've watched it one more time than I have. Maybe I'll feel differently the second time I'll watch it around, but
mine was reversed. The first time was more negative than the second time.
No. Yeah. I'm not saying mine will be better or mine will be worse. I'm just saying you've watched it one more time than I have, so you definitely have a different perspective and a different angle to watch it. The second time through. I'm just trying to say that also it's hard to say that the immense amount of content is affecting how we feel about this movie. It's a movie, and as much as I'm enjoying the Loki series, as much as I'm enjoying as much as I enjoyed Captain America: Winter Soldier and WandaVision, it's just, to me, at least from a person, at least from how I absorb media, I can watch the Loki episodes, and I've actually started watching them a little more with a lot more of a keen eye, because it seems like they've gotten kind of more serious with their material. And what I mean in that aspect is WandaVision is very, very casual watch. You're just okay, this is a nice little series. We're watching 10 episodes, 8 episodes? I can't remember.
Yes, 10.
It's 10 episodes, and you're okay, this is going to have a beginning, this is going to have an end. But by the time you get ramped up, 20 minutes is over and you're done. Kind of the same thing with Captain America: Winter Soldier, where you're just okay, this is going to be a 45-minute to 50-minute thing. As soon as you feel like you get ramped up and getting into it, it's over. You know what I mean? And then you have to wait till next week. I like that. Don't get me wrong. Before anyone steps on what I'm about to say, I like that, because the idea of binging shows, to me, I get that there are advantages to it, but I love the fact that you and me, we can watch an episode of Loki, we can talk about it, absorb things that are coming, from the quote unquote water cooler, from your coworkers at work, everything like that, rather than having to just give me the entire hoagie sandwich, and all of a sudden you can't talk to people about 10 episodes, 13 episodes of a show, because you just don't have that much time. You can't split that sandwich apart, that much, because all you want to do is talk to someone. That's what's great. That's what honestly, to me is the measure of a really good show, is that when you see it and you watch it, all of a sudden all you want to do is talk to someone about it and just be like, hey, what did you think of this? What did you think of that? I had a friend, she started watching Game of Thrones. She started binge watching it, but at the same time, from my aspect, I started asking, like, what episode are you on? And I wouldn't ask her about anything else. I'm like, that's the episode we would talk about. You know, trying to talk about entire seasons, like, to me, it's just like you're cutting all the good parts out of it because, you know, you're just getting all the big highlights and everything like that. Again, that's my soapbox really, really quick. When it came to Loki, that's when things kind of got serious. With Black Widow, it being a movie, like, I am literally, like, sitting up. Like, it's very, like, in that movie. I was in that movie theater kind of zone. Like, I had people turn off their phones. Like, you know, I told my nieces to turn off their phone. We were all shushing each other. You know, we had, like, funny commentary during the movie and stuff like that, as one would during a movie. But for the most part, to me, like, that is the main event. Like, stuff that's on TV, stuff that's streaming, that's like the undercard for me. Like, again, if I were watching it in a different way where I'm, like, binging an entire series, like, you know, binging all of Loki, I might watch it differently. But to me, like, Black Widow, where it kind of lays on the timeline, I agree. I really wish that this had come out probably right after Civil War, because it would have kind of made sense to me. But also at the same time, knowing what's going to happen, knowing what will happen to Black Widow, I kind of felt for her in a way. Like you're going through all this, like, you know, trying to find your family, trying to not just your Russian family. I'm talking about trying to, like, find your way back to, like, mending up the wounds with your Avengers family as well. But during all this, coming across your sister who you have not seen in, like, ages, and, you know, coming to realize that she's walking down that same path that you did and stuff like that. And, you know, it just, that's how it hit me from that aspect. Obviously, if we if we had hit Black Widow in between Civil War and what was after Civil War, was that Ant-Man? No, that wasn't Ant-Man.
Nope.
That was
Doctor Strange.
Yeah. Anyway, if we had hit this movie after Civil War, I really think, and gosh, it kills me to say this, I really think Taskmaster would have been a better character. And it really hurts to see someone who I really, really, really thought could be doesn't necessarily have to be like the big main ultra baddie. He doesn't have to be what, you know, we presume Kang the Conqueror is going to be, what we presume Doctor Doom might be in the near future, or, you know, Lord knows, Apocalypse, Galactus, stuff like that. You know, what they're going to be eventually and when they enter the MCU. Man, in the comics, Taskmaster has his fingers in dang near every clandestine group that needs weaponry out there, or tech, or anything that needs to be black market. They go through him. And they kind of shortened, well, no, they didn't kind of shorten, they did just straight out, like, shortened the glitz and glimmer on Taskmaster in this movie. I don't mind the fact that Taskmaster was a woman. Like, the sex and gender of this character is inconsequential to me. But man, the fact that they shrank her, what she supposedly could and should be, to a drone in this movie really disappointed me. Like, I know Dreykov was the big bad guy. Like, he was the one who was moving all the chess pieces. He was the one who was, you know, orchestrating this master plan to, you know, put the Black Widow program together like that. And yes, he had reasons and he had drives to, you know, make his daughter, the Taskmaster. But man, like, to me, like, again, I'd have to rewatch it again. Like, and I love the little snippets, like, of her. Like, the fact that, yes, like, they got Taskmaster and her being to emulate anyone she fights to a T immediately.
That's the only thing I like about her.
That is it. And I hate saying that. I love Olga Kurylenko as an actress. Even that, like, she had no lines. I'm like, well, why did you cast her? Like, maybe she just wanted to really, really be in this movie. Like, it's a tragic backstory, and, like, you know, the
I saw this backstory coming, by the way. I saw it coming when they showed the scene of back in the day. Natasha, you ready? And it sets off the bomb. And you see the daughter getting blown up. I was like, you know what? She probably lived and became Taskmaster. I freaking saw it from a freaking mile away, bro. And sure enough, here we go. I'm just glad it wasn't Melina. That would have, like, ruined it for me. If Taskmaster was Melina, I would have been so mad.
I have a question. The entire time before you watched this movie, you said you knew who the Taskmaster was. Did you think it was Melina?
Yeah, I really did.
Okay, that's what I thought. Because I was like, that's way too on the nose, but I'm not going to ask you this question because, you know, that's just right there.
I'm glad it wasn't, because it would have been rude. It was dumb. It would have been stupid.
Sure.
You know?
Well, and, like, again, like, MCU does a decent job, like, does a actually pretty good job of, like, subverting the norms, the stereotypes of, like, oh, this is a revenge story, and, like, oh, this person died at the beginning, but here they are, they're back again. This one, again, like, you know, I I didn't think that Black Widow would screw a job like that up. Like, you know, it's definitely a tragic incident that occurred, but man, she must have misplaced that bomb. Like, you know, I guess fortunately for the little girl, but, you know, like, how'd you mess that up? I don't know.
I will say this movie did get me when the face-off thing, where they switch faces.
Oh yeah.
Melina and MCU. If anything good out of this movie, that is fantastic. You got me. I was like, wow.
Well, let's.
Didn't see that coming.
So
I saw it coming, but I didn't see it coming. You know what I mean?
So I'm hearing a little bit of like, this is the only thing I liked out of this person. If there's only one, there is one good thing that came out of this movie. So I'm taking that you didn't like this movie. Is that
the first time I saw it? You want me to give you my review, like my number?
Yeah.
I'll give it a number this time.
Sure.
6 out of 10. First time I watched it.
Okay.
But the second time I watched it, it was a 7 out of 10.
Okay.
So I'm giving it a full 6.5 because I'm averaging the two.
A full 6.5. I don't know why that sounded funny to me. Okay, I mean, like, hey man, you like certain movies. Like, I'm not gonna, like, try to, like, you know, bend your ear and be like, if that's how you feel about this movie, that's how you feel. I mean, I thought this movie, like, standalone, like, on its own 2 feet, I would probably give this movie a 7.
I'd give this movie an 8 if it was released after Civil War, to be honest.
I'm not gonna do that because that's honestly, you know, what are you gonna do? Like, where it's placed, like, why they decided to place it there.
It does make a difference on feeling. It does make a difference on feeling. And in my opinion, it makes a difference.
And that's you. Like, I'm not gonna, like, again, like, I'm not gonna, like, throw a flag on the play saying you can't do that. You're not supposed to do it. You have to give it a grade for where it lies or whatever. Like, that's how you feel. That's how you feel. I just don't, like, in where it lies. Yeah, I mean, yes, it affects, like, how I watch it, but it also affects how it leads into Phase 4. Because if this thing was way back then, you're not having the mid-credits, period. Like, all of a sudden Florence kind of just like disappears. Red Guardian and her name is Iron Maiden. Red Guardian and Iron Maiden, they kind of, fade into the back. The Black Widow program fades into the back. You don't really get the impact when Val LaFontaine shows up, which, again, spoilers, but I don't know. That part to me, like, it's one of those moments, with every MCU movie nowadays. It's just you absorb the initial movie, but then, like, where's the bridge? Where's the to be continued moment? And this was definitely it. Like, you had Yelena. She's obviously mourning the death of Natasha. You find out in this movie that's how Natasha, why she was wearing that particular vest in Infinity War, because that was Yelena's. I love the back and forth, by the way. She's like, did you like the jacket? I got it because it has all the pockets.
It's so cool, right?
Like, my nieces were laughing their heads off of that, because I'm like, you guys talk like that in the car, don't y'all? She's like, oh my God, we have those exact fights about, like, why I picked this shirt out and da-da-da-da-da. And, like, again, from our perspective, I guess maybe this movie hits us differently. If we were both women, it's probably a lot more impactful. But yeah, that last scene never happens if this movie takes place right after Civil War. But we won't go into that right now. I do want to talk a little bit about. Did you think that was going to be Val?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
What do you want? Whoa, okay. What do you mean?
What clued you into that was going to be Val?
Because she's going to be. Of course, it's going to be Val. Who else could it be? You got to connect what's just happened.
Okay.
Who else could it be? Who else could it be? The broker? Power broker? We don't know who that is. You think it's going to be Agent 13? No. Who else could it be? Sam Wilson as a Captain America? That would have been pretty cool. But no, it's got to be dark. You have to have a Phil Coulson now. That is Val. That is your Phil Coulson now. It's going to be a repeat, but it's going to be Suicide Squad style with the Thunderbolts. So that's going to happen. I was not surprised that it was Val. I kind of knew it was coming, not because of YouTube, just because I felt it. And I'm glad. The first time I watched it, like I said earlier, I was watching it because of that. That scene, it made up a lot of that 6. Okay? To be honest. And the passing of the torch happened for Yelena, and I'm super pumped. I was kind of weirded out, though, because now she's got to go kill Hawkeye. But, that creates a fantastic show for coming up.
How does she know what happened on Vormir?
I'm assuming Val doesn't actually know. It just was Hawkeye probably told somebody, and then that somebody told somebody, and then it was just. I mean, cause part of it, the reporting of how did the Avenger die? It's probably what, It's probably what took place.
That was supposed to be a very secretive, no one tell anyone that we're doing, and then she specifically states, to kill the person responsible for your sister's death or whatever, and she hands her the file. And I'm like, how do you know that offhand? That just tells me that she definitely has her fingers on the information that's going around in the MCU right now. Again, it's so weird, one, that she's Elaine. I'm just thinking yada yada yada, and the sponge and everything else. But
Nazi.
I don't know, man. There's some weird theory that Val is in charge of the TVA. Have you seen that?
Oh, I was thinking that. I didn't know actually someone said that.
Well, they're if you flip the TVA upside down, it spells Val, and I'm like, are you kidding me?
Either New Rock Stars, Emergency Awesome, or Screen Crush said that. I forgot who said it.
It was just like, okay, let's.
I
I
you
would
could
love to see that.
I mean,
yeah.
not wrong, you know.
But no, like again, like I mean, I wasn't sure enough where you say like, you know, yeah, you knew. I'm just like, well, how did you know? I honestly was just like, you know, I wasn't blown away per se. Like it didn't like.
It's a grounded movie. It's a grounded show.
But
what are you going to put together?
That
now?
that is the first time. That is the first time that the streaming movies. I mean, yes, because this movie came out after Falcon Winter Soldier. If it came out in the inverse, it would have been vice versa. But this is the first time that a streaming character who was introduced in the streaming series appears in the movies.
The only reason why she was introduced in the series because the series came out first. Originally, Black Widow was supposed to come out first.
It would be Black Widow. I literally just said that.
No, you didn't. You said
yes, I did.
Said this is the first time. Okay, all right.
I said if it was inverse. I said it was inverted, but where they ended up being, this is the first time that happened. Had it happened normally, Black Widow would have been first. So it is what it is.
Lady Sif.
Lady Sif.
Yeah, she went from movie to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. She was one of the only characters that went from the movie to the show. Besides Phil Coulson and Nick Fury, but talking about a major character that actually fights and does shit.
Yeah, Nick Fury doesn't do much.
No, he shoots a pistol at a helicopter. That's all he does.
He tries to shoot down the bomber plane with his little 38. Or his Glock.
The big reveal of his eye was a damn cat.
Oh God, you gonna hate on that?
I thought it'd be bigger deal than that, but it is what it is.
Yeah, like, you know, it is what it is. I mean, it's a flurkin. It's not a cat, by the way.
No, I know. It was in cat form when he got scratched.
Well, man, ladies and gentlemen, that is our movie review of Black Widow. It got 80% certified on Rotten Tomatoes, 67 on Metacritic, 70.3 out of 10 on IMDb. So, you know, we're pretty much right around there, you know, 6.5 and a 7. You know, it's baby steps. MCU is just coming back into the fray. They just they left a huge series in their wake with the Infinity Saga. So, you know, they've got to you know, rebuild from square one practically. I mean, if you think about it, like, you know, Iron Man was, you know, what it was, and all those origin movies were kind of like, you know, they're middle tier to lower. Just because, again, they were the first movies, and that's how it always is with first movies. What
is this in the... So technically, in the timeline, of course, it's after Civil War, but is it part of Phase 4?
Yeah, this was the beginning.
Okay.
Because of the end credit.
Yeah, okay.
Like, technically, yes, this is considered part of after Phase 2, somewhere in there, 2.5, whatever. But yeah, this is considered the beginning. Like, I remember them saying that this is the beginning, because this was going to air, and then right afterward was going to be WandaVision, along with Falcon Winter Soldier and Loki.
Yeah.
But, you know, pandemic, COVID happens, so, you know, that just squeezes everything up, and now we've got the end of Loki tomorrow. We have What If in a month. We have Shang-Chi in 2 months. And so I went to look online. They really haven't said anything regarding the Hawkeye series. They said late 2021, but that's all I've gotten.
They don't want to give anything away.
Well, sure. But
'Cause
usually,
there's probably
somebody's
a
found
connection.
something. Well, yeah, no, this leads directly into the Hawkeye series because Florence Pugh is actually going to be in that series. So
yeah, we don't. They probably don't want to give away something. Who knows? There may be some Madripoor connection again, because there's a Madripoor connection with Falcon Winter Soldier and Shang-Chi, and yeah, there's probably some sort of thing. So they probably want to have Shang-Chi come out and then maybe do like here's a trailer or here's a teaser of Hawkeye or what have you. Who knows? We'll see.
God, there's gonna be a lot. I definitely want to do I don't want to say breakdown, but I guess like I would love to do a breakdown with you of like how the stars are aligning post Far From Home with all the newbies basically. Like, you've got Wanda kind of turning aside, and you forget about Photon, like she's up in the stars right now. Where's our new Phil Coulson at?
Val?
Huh?
Val?
No, not Val. What's his name from WandaVision? Homeboy from Fresh Off the Boat.
Wang? Or
Yeah.
Wong?
Wong.
Not Wong. No, that's Wong's Doctor Strange. Chang? I forgot his
Woo.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, where is he at? Like, and where's Darcy at? Like, is she going to continue, like, being in the series as well? So,
Well, Darcy's going to be in Thor Thunder Love or whatever you call it. Love and Thunder. Sorry.
Love and Thunder? Okay.
See? Yeah, she's going to be in that. And then I would assume maybe there's a chance that Wu is in the new Ant-Man movie. There's a chance.
Oh, of course, with sleight of hand, and he's learning how to do his little his little card tricks and everything like that.
I like to see Wu come back on that part, and then who else? Photon. She'll be in the new the Marvels movie.
Yeah,
with Captain Marvel and Miss Marvel, so that'd be interesting.
I mean, you have
She-Hulk, Rambo, right?
Yeah. Like you have She-Hulk coming around the corner,
right?
Obviously, Abomination's going to be there.
Yeah, Bolonsky.
Yeah, I would love to put up one of those like those detective boards, with all the little the strings everywhere, and like who's leading to who and or whom, and I guess what would you call them? Black and white Vision is still out there somewhere floating around. Yeah, the MCU has completely. It's like Val said. Things are about to get weird, and yep, we're starting to see it. The Eternals are around the corner. Yeah, that's the word. That's all we can say. Like, I'm excited. Like, I'm sad to honestly see this wave, because it seems like we've been riding this wave since was it with WandaVision, and then WandaVision, Falcon Winter Soldier, Loki, and in the middle of it, Black Widow. We're actually going to have a little break here for about a month of
or what if
doing other things. Well, that's still going to be a month. Like, that What If starts when in the beginning of August. Yeah, so that's almost a full month there.
Oh man.
Like, what are we gonna? We got Space Jam in the middle of there. What's gonna be? Yeah, Lejean Brames. What? Oh man, yeah. Like we can finally do that. Tomorrow is War. Review.
The TVA, and then turn it around. It's Val. That was new rock stars.
So. Okay, yeah. See, I've been literally like. I watched the movie one time. I absorbed a little bit during the weekend, but other than that, I wanted to come into this cold turkey and just like throw everything at you. And it's interesting, like it's interesting that honestly, like I didn't think that you were going to rate this movie very high, but I'm interested that our grades are almost parallel to each other because you know it's we approached it from two different aspects. You've seen it twice. I've only seen it once. So belief don't fall far from the tree, or the nut doesn't fall far from the basket. I don't know how that saying goes. Whatever.
I don't mean to be a hater of the movie.
No,
It's
I
just
mean,
there's some fault, there's some negative things that I feel that need to be said, and I appreciate the movie, but it's not so not every MCU movie just because of its recency or recent release is going to be the best one.
yeah.
Infinity War, Avengers, those two are my top fives. Thor Ragnarok. Um, if you're including series, I mean, Loki right now. If you include it in the movie scheme things, man, it's up there too. At least top 10, maybe even top 5. So
Yeah.
where Black Widow lies, yeah, it's towards the bottom middle, but it's still an MC movie that I appreciate because it's part of a timeline of movies that I enjoy.
Like, I still like this movie a lot. Like, I really hate having to annotate that because it feels like, we're putting digs into this movie. I like this movie a lot. Like, the action sequence in it are redonkulous. The fight scenes that do occur are crazy. Like, the entire, like, how everything goes down with them, like the aerials that are going on when the Red Room is just completely disintegrating around them. The hilarity of them trying to bust Red Guardian out of jail, and Black Widow's trying to like get all the guards, basically off, or guards and or inmates, off of him, and he can't seem to find his way out of the hole either. She's having to blow stuff up and stuff like that. But again, it's me. I just wish there was more. Give me a little more. Like, that's just all what I want from all Marvel movies. Just give me more. But
I mean, if you do the more thing, and if you turn this movie into a 6-episode deal like you did with Falcon and Winter Soldier, man, you jump up the score from me to possibly, because you get a little bit more time with other characters and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean,
I would easily bring up my grade as long as it's
and that
well. But
that goes definitely into the is this particular character and her backstory best suited for a streaming series, or can you do what you did in one movie? Like, that's up to the creators and the head people or whatever. Like, I honestly think that the fact that they are being so successful at streaming these new, I guess, quote unquote IPs out into their streaming service, and everyone's absorbing it. Like, what is the cost benefit of doing it on, say, a 6-episode, 50-minute per episode sequence, rather than, like you said, a 2.5-hour media form? So, it's definitely like food for thought. Like, could they have put something out? Could they have put WandaVision out in a 4-hour movie like they, essentially did? No, like that's just not how that makeup works. Could Falcon Winter Soldier have been done like that? No, I mean, it is what it is. Like, with us, we're kind of getting spoiled here too, because they're putting out this content in movie quality, like acting, CG, story, and like they're giving us a 6-hour Loki movie, basically, split up, in 6 parts.
Possibly second season.
No, it's been confirmed. Like, that's happening. So.
Oh, it is happening? Oh,
yeah.
Okay, nice.
No, my niece was like, yeah, that's happening. I'm like, oh, okay, I know.
My coworker Sage, she was all, oh my gosh, are you serious? Oh my god.
Yeah, no, we're stoked about that. But like, could this been best served had it been like, a 6-episode series? Who knows? But man, I know we've outside of dissecting this movie minute for minute, I think we've given this movie its fair due. Our movie review grade for the evening. God, next up we have the conclusion of Loki series, and man, like, it just keeps coming on at you.
Low key, more like high key.
No, I not to encroach. Have you watched anything like for like season 6? Like, have you watched
for episode 6? Not at all. I don't want to.
Okay, good. Even like,
but the bad thing is, I know there's scenes from a trailer from weeks ago, or
well, sure, yeah. Like,
before the show started, I was like, there's scenes like, oh, I haven't seen that yet, but I'm not gonna rewatch the trailer to ruin it for me. So
yeah, and like I kind of fell into one of those ones. They're like, hey, here's 8 people that we think are going to be, in next week's episode, in the finale.
Mephisto.
Yeah. And they keep showing stuff, and I'm like, well, Marvel doesn't necessarily have to use those scenes. Like, the entire scene of Loki, being president, they didn't use all the scenes. Like, one was strictly just for the trailer.
Yes.
So, when you dissect that, you definitely formulate your own opinions and theories, but at the same time, like, I can't wait for it to land on me. I'm presuming it's gonna be one of two things. It's either gonna blow me away. I'm gonna immediately text you afterward, like, all right, let's do our show tonight, because I have to go. I have to get this off my chest now, or I'm literally like, we're gonna have our Ralph Boner moment, and I'm gonna be like, are you freaking kidding me? And that's how it does. I mean,
yep. And at the end of the show, Throg saves the day.
Throg. Oh my gosh. How awesome would that be?
He's flying in the Thanos copter right now.
My gosh.
Oh my gosh. No, it's the Thanos copter is floating because Mjolnir is under the hammer is under the...
Have you seen how much of this wave that Loki episode 5 has gotten? Like, I want to get that Lacoste shirt with it's the little alligator, but it has the little Loki horns on it, and I'm like,
so cool.
Yeah, I kind of want that. Oh, I didn't send you that. I need to send you that picture that I saw. It was a movie poster, and that recent Pixar movie Luca. It was in the art form of Luca, but it's called Loki.
Oh, nice.
And it's really good. Mobius is on his jet ski, and on the back of it is Loki and Sylvie riding with him, and it's so good. I'm like, oh, that's cute. Man, I mean, keep making money, Marvel. Like, what's stopping you? Sure ain't the DCEU. Oh.
Yeah, they just can't get it together. Even with the Suicide Squad, I don't think it's gonna do that like an MCU would style. Make money.
Sure.
A lot of money. Mole. Did you hear that this movie will be the only one on streaming access? Every other Marvel movie will right now.
Yep.
Well, hopefully there's no more cases. That I heard that the cases are going up, unfortunately. But for right now, this is the only MCU movie that will be streaming access. Everything else is going to be straight to theater. So
correct. Well,
that's
for my brother
crazy.
Josh, This is Charlie Zarzuela. This is our movie review of Black Widow. Go pop some popcorn and watch a movie.